Okay, so we all have a choice. We all have a choice every day to do the things that we do. We are not locked by it. We are not bound by it, even if you think that you are. So that job you go to every day, you're not bound by that job. You make yourself bound by that job because you tell yourself, I can't get a better one. I've been there too long. I know the people. It pays a certain amount, but I'm not happy. So it only takes one decision. Today, tomorrow, you tell yourself next Thursday, that's the day, to say, no, I want to change it. And I have changed so much. I've changed a marriage of 20 years. I've changed my job. I've changed my location. I've changed the way I process and look at life. And I'm still in that transition mode. So some things have come like into the physical world, and others are still a work in progress. But what I do know is, even though it was scary to change those things, and even though right now, like, I'm in this limbo world, I would still pick this. And all it took was one day to wake up and go, I want to change. This has to change. And normally you get that feeling when it's in your gut and you're just not happy. And it comes out in anxiety, it comes out in depression, it comes in as nerves of the stomach. And you know that something's not right. And it's not easy. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, click your fingers. Tomorrow I'm going to change my whole life. It doesn't have to be that way. You just have to put one thing in action, which will then create this intention, which will then create movement. And it doesn't have to be big. If big scares you, don't do big now. Do little. We're so routine to do the same thing every single day. And we're not programmed for that. That's not why we're here. We're not here for that. And it's exciting to think that you are one decision away from, instead of going this way, you're going to go that way. That's all it is. It's one decision away. And that is your freedom. That is your choice. And no one can take that away from you. And I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I've been heartbroken. I've been depressed. I've been what feels like shackled. But that was all because I needed to do the things that I did, which was change, as hard as it was, to get to here. And that's fear. Fear holds you like frozen, like there's nowhere else to go. This is all I know. You know, I can't do it on my own. I can't change things on my own. I can't be bothered studying. I can't be bothered. If you can't be bothered studying, that's not your path. If you want to get a job because you want to excel at something else, but you can't be bothered studying, you're not supposed to do it. It's very, very straightforward. So look at another path. If you've got an idea for, your own business or something, that idea has not come out of nowhere. That idea was placed, yeah? So it's those feelings that just keep niggling at you, and you think, why can't I do something about this? It's not until you're ready that you actually can. It's when you are so sick and so anxiety ridden and so fed up that you've pushed yourself into a corner where you can actually proceed with the change. What is more remarkable is when you can change without those feelings. So when you recognize something straight away is not for you, and then you change it straight away without having to go through the stress, the anxiety, the depression, and the rest of it, that's when you're leveling up. And I can tell you I'm not there yet. I was literally belted into a corner, so we are not there yet by any means. But what I can tell you is it was more terrifying to stay where I was when I knew what the outcome was going to be, then it was having to change. I moved. I broke up a relationship of 20 years. I'm now a single mum with 3 kids. I've changed jobs 3 times. Like, that shit was scary, yeah? But it got to a point, it was more scary to stay than it was to leave. So right now, even though I'm like what I call the limbo land, I would rather be in limbo land with the possibility of something eventuating that takes me on a different path than staying on the one that I was on. And that power that is what you hold. No one else holds that. No one else can take that away. That is your freedom. No one can take your freedom away unless you do. And most of the time we take our own freedom away. We do it to ourselves. We lock ourselves in. We tell ourselves we can't do it. We're scared. We're fearful. We've got a job that pays the mortgage. Big deal. Big deal. I went from a very, very big house to a very, very small house. And I can tell you I'm more happy in this smaller house than I ever was in that big house. You know, it's the way that you look at things. You are given what you need, not what you want. When I lived in a big house, my kids were all spread out. I never even saw them. I'm now in a quarter of the size of a house that I had, and everybody lives on top of each other and everyone's interacting. That's what I always wanted. I wanted my family. So that big house actually drew us away, and it drew us away in a lot of reasons. The husband worked all the time, so we never saw them. You know, there's a whole lot of things that you have to step back when something shit's happened and go, okay, that was shit but what did I get out of it? Why did it need to happen? There's always a reason. And you'll never, when you're in the midst of your storm, you'll never understand what that reason is. Don't try, you won't. And it's not until the shit storm has passed and you look back and I sit here now and I thank God that it all happened. Even though it was horrific, even though it broke me, and in some ways I feel like has broken a part of me for possibly ever, I'd still pick this, still pick fucking limbo land, because that mundane routine is shit, man. It's shit. Especially if you're a creative person. If you're a creative person like me, it is torture. Torture. So, the point of this video is you're one decision away. Just one decision away from changing your whole life. It can be big, it can be small. Start with small. Start with something very, very small. In the mornings, I'm going to get up and spend half an hour listening to my own thoughts. No devices, no TV, no TikTok, no nothing. Set your alarm 20 to 30 minutes earlier in the morning and just lay there and listen to what your brain will tell you. You will find out more information in that 20 minutes to 30 minutes than you will for weeks at a time, just running. Just keep running. You're running on auto-programmed, yeah? And whatever is meant to come in, you'll hear it. You'll hear it because your body and your thoughts already know what you should be doing. It's that you just keep going and going and going, and then you don't listen and you don't acknowledge and you push it down. 20 minutes every morning, silence. Just silence. Have your coffee and then just listen to what comes in. One decision, guys, just one. And one will lead to the next one, which will lead to the next one. And if you're overwhelmed picking something that is really life-changing, just start with something small. Something small. Something that you can actually do. Because the other thing is that if you promise yourself you're going to do something and then you don't do it, you then become where you don't trust yourself. And that is another problem, a whole another topic. So do something that you know you can actually do. That builds confidence once you've done it. And then once you start getting the result of that, you'll go, oh, maybe I'll try this. Maybe this needs to change a little bit. It can be something as small as everyone needs to sit at the table every night and communicate and talk, no phones, no devices. And then just see what happens from that, yeah? And what eventuates from that. And then you can say, oh, well, now I might want to change A, B, or C. I'm not saying you have to change all the things that I've changed. Mine was a complete rebirth. But I guess what I'm trying to get across is it's simpler than you think. It's simpler than you think. Once you remove the fear and the doubt and that safety net that's going, don't do it because you're safe where you are. Once you go, shut up. Every time you hear that fear word, and I used to do this for like 12 months straight. Every time I heard it, I just said, shut up. And eventually it shut up. Just choose one thing. You're one decision away.